This well extends down almost 2 kilometers, all the way to the Marcellus gas field, the largest of its kind in the U.S. In about a month, Shell plans to start extracting natural gas here. Northern Pennsylvania's landscape has changed. The small gas platforms are everywhere. It's like a gold rush. Shale gas is a billion-dollar business. Some believe it's the solution to many energy problems. Kim Winden works for Shell. It's her job to convince the public that drilling for gas is the way to go.
It's very plentiful, and we've learned over the years that it's something that we can explore for and develop both safely and responsibly.
But others in the area disagree. This platform is located near Wellsboro on a farm owned by Carol Johnson.
I see it was a little soft, but it's kind of wet there in the spring anyway. But when we got down to
Today, there's just a bit of tar left. About a year ago, this field area was suddenly covered in some kind of fluid, and Carol's cows drank from it.
The thing that happened was that we lost these calves.
And how long did it take you to figure out what the reason was?
About the second calf.
In the end, she lost 8 calves. To understand what happened, one has to understand how fracking works. In fracking, the drillers dig straight down, and the steel casing is surrounded by several cement layers. After about 2 kilometers, the drill turns sideways and penetrates the rock, which holds a huge reservoir of natural gas. The rock is blasted to fracture it. Then a mix of water, sand, and chemicals is injected at high pressure, cracking the shale rock and releasing the gas. The contaminated water also returns to the surface. Normally, it's collected and disposed of. But on Carol's farm, the fracking water leaked out and poisoned her cattle. Even the cattle that didn't die were contaminated, and that put Carol's farm at risk.
It means that I couldn't sell my calves last fall as feeders so that the people could get them ready to go to market. I couldn't do that last year because I had to keep them. Couldn't do anything with them. If I moved even one of them, I'd have been in trouble.
Incidents like these raise another troubling question. What does fracking do to drinking water? These images were filmed in Colorado. According to the filmmaker, fracking here allowed gas to escape from some wells and contaminate drinking water.
Whoa, Jesus Christ.
What do fracking supporters say about such accusations? Eric Coolidge is a county commissioner and owns a farm in Wellsboro. He feels well informed by the fracking industry.
And they're doing a real good job of that, and they're promoting the benefits, but they're also educating us to some of the unknowns, like they claim the mixture or the chemical formation that goes down in the well when they frack it.
We're on the way to Eric's land. Here's pretty obvious proof of Eric's optimism: a drilling platform. Eric is leasing this land for $17,500 a year. From well cap to collection pool, everything's in place. Signs of the gas boom are everywhere. New roads, tanker trucks, new stores opening in downtown Wellsboro. Unemployment is down as well in this otherwise relatively poor region. It's not easy to find opponents of fracking here. Most everyone seems to think it's the way of the future. Just over 300 kilometers west in Youngstown, Ohio, this sense of optimism has been literally shaken. In 2011, there were 11 small earthquakes here. Before, there were none.
In this case, they're probably hauling water that may be used to...
As a geologist, to him the reason is obvious: a disposal well where fracking brine is injected deep into the earth.
That belief is based on the proximity of the earthquakes to the injection, the timing of the earthquakes to the injection, and recent geological seismic data that we got that show that there is a left lateral fault located about 3,000 feet below the depth of injection.
Fracking has brought jobs and tax revenues to the city, But the mayor had little choice. He called a halt to the fracking, at least temporarily.
Again, we haven't heard of any proof of it. You know, I wear two hats in this issue. One is the mayor and responsible for the city, and my other hat is being a homeowner living in a house that was affected. So myself, I got scared when it happened. So now I know how everybody else felt that experienced the same thing I did. And so again, I want to be safe in my home, just like everybody else wants to be safe in their home.
Even in faraway Wellsboro, these events have repercussions. Each story of contaminated drinking water and earthquakes discredits the industry. Kim Winden counters.
I think there are a lot of people that are concerned about the whole aspect of drilling simply because there's a lot of misinformation out there. So part of our job as industry is making sure that people understand how we operate.
Carol is familiar with how Shale operates. She signed her contract 30 years ago. It can't be broken and she doesn't earn much.
$2 an acre is a pretty cheap piece of land for them to gain access to, because it's a forever deal. Once they get a well down, they have control of everything that's underneath.
She didn't understand that when she signed the contract, but there's no way back for Carol or for the region. Since 2008, nearly 3,000 fracking wells have been drilled in Pennsylvania.